The screeching of tires against wet asphalt pierced through the early evening air as Derek Daniels slammed on his brakes, his heart pounding wildly in his chest. Through the rain-streaked windshield, he watched a black SUV cut off a silver sedan, forcing it onto the shoulder of the road. What happened next made his blood boil. Derek adjusted the rearview mirror, catching a glimpse of his 8-year-old daughter Lily in the backseat, engrossed in her well-worn copy of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Thank goodness she hadn't noticed. Life as a single dad was challenging enough without exposing her to the harsh realities of the world too soon. "Hey, Pumpkin, I need to check something out." "Stay put, okay?" Derek said, reaching for the door handle of his decade-old Honda Civic. Lily looked up, her blue eyes so much like her mother's blinking with innocent curiosity. "Is everything okay, Daddy?" "Everything's fine, sweetheart. Just keep reading. I'll only be a minute." He forced a reassuring smile, though his jaw remained tight with tension. The rain was coming down harder now, as Derek stepped onto the wet roadside, pulling his worn denim jacket tighter around his broad shoulders. The construction job he'd finished earlier had left him tired, but adrenaline now coursed through his veins as he approached the scene unfolding 20 yards ahead. A burly man had exited the SUV and was now shouting at the driver of the sedan, a woman who remained inside her vehicle. Even from this distance, Derek could see her frightened expression as the man pounded on her window. "Hey," Derek called out, his deep voice carrying through the rain. "Everything all right here?" The man turned, his face contorted with rage. "Mind your own business, buddy." "This rich bitch cut me off." Derek approached steadily, hands slightly raised in a non-threatening gesture. At 6'2", with shoulders broadened by years of construction work, he wasn't easily intimidated. "Look, man, whatever happened on the road isn't worth this. Why don't we all just calm down? She thinks she owns the road in her fancy car," the man spat, gesturing wildly at the silver Audi. "These entitled types never learn." Derek positioned himself between the aggressive man and the woman's car. "I get it, traffic's frustrating. But scaring someone isn't going to solve anything." Inside the Audi, the woman watched with wide eyes. Derek caught a glimpse of her mid-30s perhaps, with copper-colored hair pulled back in a neat ponytail, her knuckles white as she gripped the steering wheel. "You her bodyguard or something?" The man took a step forward, squaring his shoulders. "I'm just a guy who doesn't want to see anyone get hurt," Derek replied evenly. "My 8-year-old daughter's in my car back there. I'd rather not have her witness anything ugly." Something in Derek's calm demeanor or the mention of his daughter seemed to penetrate the man's anger. His shoulders slumped slightly. "Look," Derek continued, "we're all getting soaked here. Whatever happened, it's not worth getting into trouble over. Why don't you head on your way and everyone gets home safe?" The man's eyes darted between Derek and the woman in the car. Finally, he muttered, "Whatever. Not worth my time anyway." He stalked back to his SUV, slamming the door before speeding off, tires splashing through a puddle. Derek turned to the woman's window, which lowered slowly. Her face was pale but composed, her green eyes reflecting a mixture of relief and lingering fear. "Are you okay?" he asked, rain dripping from his dark hair onto his face. "Yes, thanks to you." Her voice was steady despite the circumstances. "I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't stopped." "Probably nothing," Derek said with a modest shrug. "Most people cool down eventually, but I couldn't just drive by, not with him acting like that." "I really appreciate it." She glanced at his rain-soaked form. "You're drenched. Can I?" a small voice called out from behind them. "Daddy?" Derek turned to see Lily standing a few feet away, her yellow raincoat bright against the gray evening, her book clutched protectively against her chest. "Lily." "I told you to stay in the car, Pumpkin. You were gone a long time," she said, her eyes moving curiously to the woman in the car. "I got worried." Derek's expression softened. "Everything's fine. This lady just needed a little help." The woman's window was fully down now, and she smiled at Lily. "Your dad is very brave. He just helped me with a car problem. Lily beamed with pride. My daddy fixes everything. Derek felt a flush of embarrassment, mingled with the quiet pride of being his daughter's hero. We should get going, Lily. It's almost dinner time. He turned back to the woman. Are you sure you're okay to drive? Yes, I'm fine now. She hesitated, then added, I'd like to thank you properly. Maybe I could. No need, Derek interrupted gently. I'm just glad everyone's safe. Have a good evening. He guided Lily back to their car, aware of the woman watching them leave. As they drove away, he glanced in his rearview mirror and saw the silver Audi still parked on the shoulder, the woman's silhouette visible through the rain-streaked rear window. Who was that lady, Daddy? Lily asked, buckling herself back in. Just someone having a rough day, Derek replied, turning on the heater to combat the chill from his wet clothes. Sometimes people just need a moment of kindness. She was pretty, Lily observed with the directness only children possess. Derek smiled but didn't respond. Pretty she might have been, but women like that driving luxury cars and likely living lives of comfort weren't part of his world. His world consisted of construction sites, tight budgets, and making sure Lily had everything she needed, even if it meant he went without. The next morning, Derek dropped Lily off at school before heading to his latest job site. The Riverside construction project was behind schedule, and as foreman, he needed to coordinate the electricians who were finally arriving today. Morning, Derek called Marco, one of the veteran carpenters on the crew. Morning, Derek replied, scanning the site with a practiced eye. Looks like we made progress on the east wing yesterday. Yeah, but we're still waiting on those special fixtures for the main lobby. Can't finish the ceiling without them. Derek nodded, consulting his clipboard. The client representative is coming by today to check on progress. Let's make sure everything we can control looks good. By midday, the site was buzzing with activity. Derek had just finished resolving a dispute between the plumbing team and the drywall installers when his phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Mr. Daniels, this is Olivia Dawson. We met yesterday during the road incident. Your construction company is working on my building. Would you mind meeting me at the site office at 2 p.m.? I'd like to discuss the project and properly thank you for your help. Derek stared at the message in confusion. How had she gotten his number, and what did she mean by my building? He typed back a polite response confirming the meeting, then pocketed his phone with a frown. At precisely 2 p.m., Derek waited outside the temporary site office, having changed from his dust-covered work shirt to a cleaner one he kept in his truck for client meetings. A black Tesla pulled into the construction parking area, and from it emerged the woman from yesterday. She looked markedly different in a tailored navy pantsuit, her copper hair now falling in soft waves around her shoulders. As she approached, Derek noticed her confident stride and the way several workers straightened up as she passed. Mr. Daniels, she said, extending her hand. It's good to see you in better circumstances. Miss Dawson, he replied, shaking her hand firmly. I have to admit, I'm a bit confused. You're connected to this project, she smiled, a slight dimple appearing in her right cheek. I'm the owner. Dawson Development purchased this property last year. I'm converting it into mixed-use space retail on the ground floor, offices above, and residential penthouses on top. Derek tried to mask his surprise. The Riverside project was a $40 million renovation of a historic building in the heart of downtown, and this woman who he'd assumed was just another wealthy professional was behind it all. I see, he managed. Well, we're making good progress despite the delays with the imported fixtures. I'd be happy to show you around. I'd appreciate that, but first, could we speak privately? She gestured toward the office. Inside the small trailer that served as the site office, Olivia settled into a chair across from Derek's cluttered desk. He suddenly saw the space through her eyes, the stained coffee mug, the dog-eared building plans, the family photo of him and Lily at the lake last summer. First, I want to thank you properly for yesterday, Olivia began. That situation could have escalated badly. Anyone would have done the same, Derek said, uncomfortable with her gratitude. No, they wouldn't have. 3 cars passed by before you stopped. She leaned forward slightly. The man was furious because he claimed I cut him off, but the truth is, he was speeding and texting. I didn't see him until he was right on my bumper. Derek nodded. Road rage makes people irrational. I'm just glad it ended without incident. Thanks to you, she paused. I was surprised to discover you're the foreman on my project. The progress reports I've received have been impressive. We have a good crew, Derek replied, pride evident in his voice. Some of the best tradespeople in the city. And a good leader, clearly. Olivia's green eyes held his for a moment. Which brings me to my second reason for this meeting. I'm considering accelerating the timeline for Phase 2 of the development, the adjacent property. I'd like Riverside Construction to handle it, with you as project manager. Derek's eyebrows rose. That's a significant promotion from foreman. Yes, but Tom Bradley speaks highly of your capabilities. He mentioned you've essentially been running this project while he handles other sites. Tom was the official project manager, but it was true that he'd been increasingly absent, trusting Derek to handle the day-to-day operations. I appreciate the vote of confidence, Derek said carefully, but I have to consider my schedule carefully. Being a single dad means I can't always work the hours a project manager might need to. Olivia nodded. I understand family commitments. My parents worked constantly when I was growing up, and I rarely saw them. I wouldn't want to put your daughter in that position. She paused. How old is she, by the way? Lily's 8. Smart as a whip and not afraid to let me know it. Derek couldn't help the smile that spread across his face. She seems wonderful. The way she looked at you yesterday, it's clear you're her hero. Derek felt a warmth in his chest at the observation. I'm just trying to do right by her. Her mom left when she was 3. It's been just the 2 of us since then. Olivia's expression softened. That can't be easy. We manage. Derek straightened in his chair, uncomfortable with sharing personal details with a client. About the Phase 2 project, I'd need to review the plans and timeline before I could give you an answer. Of course, I'll have my assistant send over the preliminary documents. She stood, smoothing her suit jacket. And I insist on taking you and Lily to dinner as a proper thank you for yesterday. Perhaps this weekend. Derek was taken aback by the offer. That's really not necessary. I know it's not necessary, Olivia interrupted with a gentle smile, but I'd like to. Besides, I'm new to this neighborhood, and it would be nice to make some local connections. There was something in her expression, a hint of loneliness, perhaps, that made Derek reconsider his automatic refusal. Lily would probably enjoy that, he conceded. She's been asking to try that new pizza place on Maple Street. Perfect. Saturday at 6. When Derek nodded, Olivia handed him a business card. My personal number's on the back. Text me if anything changes. As she left, Derek remained seated, staring at the elegant card with its embossed logo. Olivia Dawson, CEO, Dawson Development. His life had just taken an unexpected turn, and he wasn't entirely sure what to make of it. Saturday evening arrived with a flurry of activity as Derek helped Lily get ready for dinner. She had changed outfits 3 times, finally settling on her favorite blue dress with silver stars. Is this a date, Daddy? She asked as Derek combed her dark hair. He nearly dropped the comb. No, Pumpkin. Miss Dawson is just being nice because I helped her the other day. And she's a client for work. But you put on your good shirt, Lily pointed out with the merciless logic of a child. The one Aunt Jenny got you for Christmas that you said was too fancy. Derek glanced down at the charcoal button-down he'd paired with his least worn jeans. I'm just being polite. When someone invites you to dinner, you make an effort. The truth was, he'd spent more time on his appearance than he had for any work meeting in recent memory. He told himself it was professional courtesy, given Olivia's position, but a small voice in the back of his mind suggested otherwise. Milo's Pizza turned out to be bustling with families, its brick oven aromas filling the air. Olivia was already seated when they arrived, dressed casually in jeans and a soft green sweater that matched her eyes. Her face lit up when she spotted them. "You must be Lily," she said warmly as they approached. "I'm Olivia. Thank you for letting me join you for pizza tonight." Lily regarded her solemnly before breaking into a smile. "Daddy says you have a whole building." Derek suppressed a groan. "Lily, it's fine," Olivia laughed. "Yes, I do have a building. A few of them, actually, but none of them have a pizza oven like this one, which seems like a serious oversight now that I smell what they're making." Lily giggled, instantly charmed, and Derek felt himself relax. The evening progressed with surprising ease. Olivia asked Lily questions about school and listened with genuine interest to her animated responses about her second-grade science project and her best friend Emma. "And what about you?" Olivia asked Derek as Lily focused on creating the perfect bite of pizza with exactly one pepperoni. "How did you get into construction?" "My dad was a carpenter," Derek replied. "I started working summers with him when I was 15. After high school, I joined a crew full-time, took night classes in construction management, and worked my way up." "That's impressive." "Self-made expertise is invaluable." "What about you? Family business?" He realized he was curious about her. Olivia shook her head. "Actually, no, my father was a professor, my mother a surgeon. They expected me to follow a similar professional path, but I was always fascinated by buildings and spaces." She took a sip of her water. "I studied architecture, then real estate finance, started small, renovating a duplex, then a small apartment building. Each project led to another. And now you're redeveloping the old Harmon building." "Among others," she smiled. "But tonight isn't about work. Tell me more about you two. What do you like to do when you're not building things or conquering second grade?" The conversation flowed naturally as they shared stories about hiking trips, Lily's soccer adventures, and Olivia's recent attempt at paddleboarding. "A complete disaster," she admitted with a laugh. By the time they finished their meal, Lily had warmed up completely to Olivia, showing her the special bead bracelet she'd made at her after-school program. "It's beautiful," Olivia said sincerely, admiring the colorful creation. "You have a wonderful eye for color combinations." Lily beamed. "I could make you one too." "I would be honored," Olivia replied, and Derek could tell she meant it. As they prepared to leave, Olivia insisted on paying despite Derek's protests. Outside the restaurant, the spring evening had turned chilly, and Lily huddled against her father's side. "Thank you for dinner," Derek said. "Lily and I both enjoyed it." "I did too," Olivia replied. "Much more than I expected." She paused, then added, "I have 2 tickets to the Children's Science Museum exhibition next weekend, the special dinosaur one. I was going to take my niece, but she came down with chickenpox. Would Lily like to go? You'd be welcome to join us, of course." Lily's head snapped up. "Dinosaurs, the ones with the moving parts and the fossil dig." "The very same," Olivia confirmed. "Can we go, Daddy, please?" Lily's eyes were wide with excitement. Derek hesitated, sensing the boundaries between professional and personal blurring. But the hopeful expression on his daughter's face made the decision for him. "That sounds like fun," he conceded. "As long as we're not imposing on your plans." "Not at all," Olivia said, her smile illuminating her face in the soft glow of the street lamps. "I was actually hoping you'd say yes." As they said goodnight and walked to their respective cars, Derek felt a strange mixture of anticipation and caution. Olivia Dawson lived in a different world from his one of business meetings, luxury cars, and development projects worth tens of millions. He had a mortgage he struggled to pay, a truck with 150,000 miles on it, and the constant pressure of raising a daughter alone. Yet there was something about her that seemed genuine, unpretentious despite her success. And the way she'd connected with Lily, treating her with respect rather than condescension, had touched him more than he wanted to admit. "I like her, Daddy," Lily declared as they drove home. "She listens like she really cares what I'm saying." "She seems nice," Derek agreed cautiously. "And pretty," Lily added with an innocent directness that made Derek chuckle despite himself. Yes, she is, he admitted, but remember, she's also someone I work with. This is just a friendly dinner and a museum trip. Lily nodded solemnly, though the knowing smile playing at the corners of her mouth suggested she had her own opinions on the matter. The dinosaur exhibition the following weekend was a resounding success from Lily's perspective. She raced from display to display, her enthusiasm infectious as she absorbed facts about paleontology and prehistoric creatures. Olivia kept pace with her energy, seeming genuinely interested in Lily's observations and questions. Derek found himself watching them together, struck by how naturally Olivia interacted with his daughter. There was no talking down to her, no forced enthusiasm, just authentic engagement and shared curiosity. "Your daughter is remarkable," Olivia said as they sat on a bench while Lily participated in a simulated fossil dig. "So intelligent and thoughtful for her age." "She's always been an old soul," Derek agreed, unable to keep the pride from his voice. "Sometimes I think she's raising me rather than the other way around," Olivia laughed. "I can see that, but she clearly adores you." "We've had to rely on each other," Derek said, his expression growing more serious. "After her mom left, I was terrified I'd mess everything up. I didn't exactly have the perfect childhood model to follow." "What happened?" Olivia asked gently. Derek rarely discussed his past, but something about Olivia's attentive presence made it easier. "My father was complicated, good at his trade, taught me everything I know about building. But he had a temper, especially after my mom died when I was 12. He wasn't abusive exactly, but he was harsh, critical, never satisfied with anything I did." "I'm sorry," Olivia said, her hand briefly touching his arm in a gesture of sympathy. "That's a difficult environment to grow up in." "It taught me what kind of father I didn't want to be," Derek said simply. "When Melissa left, saying she wasn't cut out for motherhood, I promised myself Lily would always feel secure, always know she was loved." "You've succeeded," Olivia observed, watching as Lily carefully brushed dirt from a replica dinosaur bone, her face alight with concentration and joy. "She has a confidence about her that comes from knowing she's valued." The conversation shifted to Olivia's background. Born to academic parents who valued achievement above all else, she'd grown up privileged but pressured. "I was always trying to prove myself," she admitted. "Top of my class, extracurriculars, summer internships instead of summer camp. I don't remember just playing or exploring without a purpose." "Is that why you connect so well with Lily? Living vicariously?" Derek asked with a gentle smile. Olivia laughed. "Maybe a little, but mostly I just enjoy her perspective. Children see things so clearly sometimes without all the filters we develop as adults." As the day progressed, Derek found himself increasingly drawn to Olivia's company. She was intelligent and accomplished, yes, but also warm, funny, and refreshingly direct. By the time they left the museum, Lily had extracted a promise from Olivia to attend her soccer game the following weekend. "You don't have to come," Derek said as they walked to the parking lot. "I know you must be busy." "I want to," Olivia replied simply. "Unless you'd rather I didn't." Their eyes met, and Derek felt a moment of connection that went beyond casual friendship or professional courtesy. "No, we'd like you to come," he said finally. "Lily will be thrilled." Over the next few weeks, Olivia became a regular presence in their lives. She attended Lily's soccer games, cheering enthusiastically from the sidelines. She joined them for movie night, bringing gourmet popcorn and submitting good-naturedly to Lily's selection of animated features. Derek found himself looking forward to her texts and calls, their conversations extending beyond work to books they'd read, childhood memories, and dreams for the future. At work, their relationship remained professional. Derek had accepted the role of project manager for Phase 2, and Olivia was scrupulous about maintaining appropriate boundaries in the workplace. But outside of work, something was blossoming that neither had anticipated. One evening in late May, after Lily had gone to bed, Derek and Olivia sat on his small back porch, the spring air fragrant with lilacs from the neighbor's yard. "I've been meaning to ask you something," Olivia said, setting down her glass of wine. "The company retreat is next month, 3 days at Lake Geneva. As project manager, you're invited, but I know it might be complicated with Lily. I wanted to let you know early so you could make arrangements if possible." Derek nodded, appreciating her consideration. "My sister Jenny might be able to watch her. She lives about an hour away, but comes to stay sometimes when I have work commitments." "Good," Olivia said, then hesitated before continuing. "Derek, I've really enjoyed spending time with you and Lily these past weeks." "We've enjoyed it too," Derek replied, aware of a shift in the atmosphere between them. "I need to be honest about something," Olivia continued, her fingers tracing the rim of her wine glass. "My interest in seeing you isn't just friendly or professional. I find myself thinking about you when we're not together, looking forward to the next time we'll meet." She looked up, meeting his eyes directly. "I'm attracted to you, Derek, and not just because you came to my rescue that day." The directness of her admission caught him off guard, though perhaps it shouldn't have. Olivia had always been straightforward. "I'm attracted to you too," he admitted, the words feeling both terrifying and liberating. "But our lives are so different. You run a multi-million-dollar development company. I'm a construction worker with a mortgage I can barely afford and a daughter who depends on me entirely." "Is that how you see yourself? Just a construction worker?" Olivia shook her head. "You're one of the most capable, intelligent men I've ever met. You're an exceptional father, a skilled craftsman, and a natural leader. The fact that you don't have a trust fund or an Ivy League degree doesn't make you any less remarkable." Her words touched something deep within him, a vulnerability he rarely acknowledged, rooted in his father's critical voice that still echoed in his mind sometimes. "And what about Lily?" he asked. "Dating as a single parent comes with complications. She's already getting attached to you." "I adore Lily," Olivia said simply. "She's part of what makes you who you are. I would never want to come between you, and I understand that she will always be your priority." Derek studied her face in the soft porch light, seeing sincerity in her green eyes. Despite his reservations, he couldn't deny the connection that had formed between them, a blend of mutual respect, shared values, and an increasingly undeniable attraction. "I'd like to see where this could go," he said finally, "but we need to take it slowly, especially for Lily's sake." Olivia's smile was radiant. "I can do slow." Their first official date was dinner at an Italian restaurant overlooking the river, Lily safely in the care of her Aunt Jenny for the evening. Derek found himself nervous in a way he hadn't been since high school, though Olivia's easy conversation soon put him at ease. "Tell me something you've never told anyone," she challenged over dessert, a shared tiramisu that sat between them. Derek considered the question. "I write poetry sometimes," he admitted. "Nothing good, just thoughts that come to me on job sites or when Lily's asleep. I keep them in a notebook in my nightstand." Olivia's eyes widened with delight. "That's beautiful. Would you ever share them?" "Maybe someday," he replied, feeling both exposed and strangely liberated by the admission. "Your turn." "I'm terrified of failure," Olivia said after a moment, "not just professionally but personally. My parents' marriage was a disaster, two brilliant people who couldn't figure out how to love each other. I've always worried I inherited their emotional blindness." Derek reached across the table, taking her hand in his. "From what I've seen, you're remarkably emotionally intelligent. The way you connect with people, including Lily, shows real empathy." "Thank you," she said softly, her fingers intertwining with his. "That means more than you know." As they left the restaurant, the evening air was warm and fragrant with early summer blossoms. They walked along the riverfront, their hands still linked, talking about everything and nothing. When they reached Derek's truck, he turned to face her, suddenly aware of how much he wanted to kiss her. As if reading his thoughts, Olivia moved closer, her face tilted up toward his. Their first kiss was gentle, tentative a question asked and answered in the meeting of lips. When they parted, Olivia's eyes remained closed for a moment longer, a smile playing at the corners of her mouth. "I've been thinking about doing that for weeks," Derek confessed, his hand still resting lightly at her waist. "Me too," Olivia replied. "It was worth the wait." The company retreat in June marked a turning point in their relationship. For 3 days, they were able to spend time together without the immediate responsibilities of work or parenting. They hiked around Lake Geneva, participated in team-building activities with the rest of the Dawson development staff, and stole moments alone whenever possible. On the final evening, after the formal dinner and presentations, they slipped away to walk along the moonlit shore. Olivia had changed from her business attire into a simple sundress, her copper hair loose around her shoulders, and Derek thought she had never looked more beautiful. "Thank you for making the arrangements to come," Olivia said as they found a quiet spot on the dock, their feet dangling above the water. "I know it wasn't easy to be away from Lily. She's having the time of her life with Jenny." Apparently, they've been baking cookies and doing science experiments in the kitchen. Derek smiled at the thought of his sister's patience being tested by Lily's endless curiosity. "She's an amazing child," Olivia said. "You've done an incredible job raising her." "I'm trying," Derek replied. Every day is a new challenge. They sat in comfortable silence for a moment, watching the moonlight ripple across the lake's surface. "Derek," Olivia began, her voice more serious, "these past weeks have been wonderful. Being with you feels right in a way nothing else has. But I need to know if my position as the owner of your company's biggest project is going to be an issue for you." Derek had been considering this very question. "It's not ideal," he admitted. "There will be people who assume I'm getting special treatment or that you're not making objective decisions." "I thought the same thing," Olivia nodded. "Which is why I've decided to recuse myself from direct oversight of the Riverside projects. Tom Bradley will be your primary contact, and all approvals will go through the board rather than directly through me." Her proactive solution touched him deeply. It showed not only her business acumen, but also her respect for his professional reputation. "Thank you," he said. "That means a lot to me." "I want this to work, Derek," Olivia said simply. "I think we could have something special." In response, Derek leaned in to kiss her, his hand gently cupping her face. Unlike their previous kisses, which had been restrained by their agreement to take things slowly, this one deepened with a hunger that surprised them both. When they finally broke apart, both were breathing heavily. "I think we already have something special," Derek said, his voice husky. The summer unfolded with a happiness Derek had not experienced in years. Olivia became a fixture in their lives, joining them for weekend outings, helping Lily with her summer reading program, and even rolling up her sleeves to assist with the vegetable garden Derek had started in his small backyard. To Derek's relief, Lily had embraced Olivia's presence with enthusiasm. One evening, as he tucked her into bed, she asked the question he'd been anticipating. "Is Olivia your girlfriend now, Daddy?" Derek sat on the edge of her bed, considering how best to answer. "Yes, she is. How do you feel about that?" Lily thought for a moment, her small face serious in the glow of her night light. "I like her. She makes you smile a lot, and she doesn't treat me like a baby." "No, she doesn't," Derek agreed. "Does this mean she'll be around a lot more?" "Would that be okay with you?" Lily nodded. "As long as we still have our special daddy-daughter days." Derek's heart swelled with love for his perceptive child. "Always, Pumpkin, nothing will ever change that." Satisfied, Lily snuggled deeper under her covers. "Good. Because I really want to show her how to make fairy houses in the garden this weekend." As their relationship deepened, Derek learned more about the complexities of Olivia's world. She navigated high-pressure business deals, managed a staff of 30, and made decisions involving millions of dollars daily. Yet she remained grounded, never flaunting her wealth or position. One rainy Saturday in July, they were cleaning up after lunch when Olivia's phone rang. Her expression turned serious as she took the call, stepping onto the porch for privacy. When she returned, her face was tense. "Everything okay?" Derek asked. "A financing issue with the Westlake project," she sighed. "The overseas investor is getting cold feet after the market fluctuations this week. I need to go into the office to review some numbers before a conference call tonight." "Go ahead," Derek assured her. "Lily and I were planning to make pizza and watch a movie. Pretty low-key." Olivia hesitated. "I hate leaving like this." "It's your business," Derek said simply. "I understand." And he did understand, better than she might have expected. He'd seen firsthand the dedication and vision she brought to her work. It was one of the things he admired most about her. Later that evening, after Lily had fallen asleep during the movie, Derek's phone buzzed with a text from Olivia. "Crisis averted. Investor back on board. Missing you both. Rain check on movie night," Derek smiled as he typed his reply. "Glad it worked out." Lily fell asleep 15 minutes in anyway. "You owe us both pizza and a movie of my choosing next time." "Deal. Even if it's one of those action movies with impossible physics." Derek chuckled, appreciating how well she already knew his taste in films. "Just for that, I'm picking the one with the most ridiculous car stunts." "I deserve it. Sweet dreams, Derek." He stared at the message for a moment, then typed what he'd been feeling for weeks but hadn't yet said aloud. "I love you." His thumb hovered over the send button, doubt suddenly creeping in. Was it too soon? Would it scare her away? Before he could decide, his phone buzzed again with another message from her. "I think I'm falling in love with you. Is that crazy after just a few months?" The timing was so perfect, so synchronous with his own thoughts, that Derek laughed out loud. He deleted his unsent message and typed a new one. "Not crazy at all. I'm falling in love with you too." The next morning, Derek woke to the sound of Lily chattering in the kitchen. Confused, he glanced at the clock. 7:30 a.m. on a Sunday. When he padded into the kitchen, he found Olivia and Lily making pancakes together, the countertop dusted with flour and both of them wearing matching smiles. "Morning, Daddy," Lily called. "Olivia's teaching me how to flip pancakes." "I see that," Derek replied, taking in the domestic scene with a warmth spreading through his chest. "What brings you over so early?" Olivia looked slightly sheepish. "I couldn't sleep. After our texts last night, I just wanted to see you." The significance of her words hung between them, witnessed by a flower-covered 8-year-old who was blissfully focused on the perfect pancake flip. "I did it!" Lily exclaimed as she successfully turned a pancake without disaster. "High five, pancake master." Olivia held up her hand, which Lily slapped enthusiastically, leaving a small flower handprint on Olivia's wrist. Later, after breakfast was cleared away and Lily was engrossed in a drawing project at the kitchen table, Derek and Olivia stood together on the back porch, coffee mugs in hand. "Did you mean what you texted last night?" Derek asked quietly. Olivia met his gaze steadily. "Yes, I love you, Derek. I didn't expect it to happen so quickly, but here we are." "I love you too," he said, the words feeling right, natural. "And I think I have since that day at the museum, watching you listen to Lily explain dinosaur facts you probably already knew." Olivia laughed softly. "She's part of why I love you, you know. The father you are to her shows the man you truly are." Derek set down his coffee mug and drew her into his arms. Their kiss was tender, a sealing of the declaration they'd made, both in late-night texts and morning confessions. The weeks that followed were filled with a deepening intimacy. Olivia kept clothes and toiletries at Derek's house for the nights she stayed over, always in the guest room out of respect for Lily's adjustment to their relationship. Derek learned her habits the way she always read the last page of a book first, her preference for sunrise over sunset, her inability to function before coffee in the morning. In August, Olivia invited Derek and Lily to spend a weekend at her lake house, a modern glass and cedar structure nestled among pine trees on a secluded stretch of shoreline. "Your house is like a spaceship." Lily exclaimed as they entered the soaring main room with its wall of windows overlooking the water. Olivia laughed. I never thought of it that way, but you're right. It does look a bit futuristic. Derek took in the elegant, minimalist space. It's beautiful. Did you design it yourself? The basic concept, Olivia nodded. I worked with an architect to refine it. This was my first major personal project after the business took off. Throughout the weekend, Derek observed how differently Olivia lived the carefully curated art on the walls. The professional-grade kitchen where she cooked elaborate meals with ease. The wine cellar stocked with bottles whose labels he couldn't pronounce. Yet she remained the same unpretentious woman who sat cross-legged on his worn living room carpet to play board games with Lily. On Saturday night, after Lily had fallen asleep in the charming loft bedroom Olivia had prepared for her, they sat on the dock, a bottle of wine between them and a blanket around their shoulders against the cooling night air. What are you thinking? Olivia asked, noticing Derek's thoughtful expression. How different our worlds are, he admitted. Your lake house probably cost more than I'll earn in my lifetime. Olivia's face grew serious. Does that bother you? Not in the way you might think, Derek replied carefully. I'm not intimidated by your success. I admire it. But sometimes I wonder what you see in me, a construction worker with a modest house and a truck that's older than my daughter. First of all, Olivia said, turning to face him fully, you're not just a construction worker. You're a skilled project manager with an eye for detail that most of my MBA-holding executives lack. You understand buildings from foundation to finial in a way I never will, despite my architectural background. She took his hand, her eyes intense in the moonlight. But more importantly, what I see in you has nothing to do with your job or your bank account. I see a man who rebuilt his life after his wife left, who creates a home filled with love and stability for his daughter, who stops to help strangers even when it's inconvenient. Her words penetrated the insecurity that had lingered at the edges of Derek's happiness these past months. I love you, she continued, because you listen when I talk about structural integrity issues with the same attention you give to Lily's stories about school. Because you're honest and direct but never unkind. Because when you hold me, I feel like I've found a home I didn't know I was looking for. Derek pulled her closer, overwhelmed by the depth of feeling between them. I love you too, he said softly. Sometimes, I can't believe how quickly you've become essential to my life, to our lives. They kissed beneath the stars, the lapping of the lake against the dock providing a gentle soundtrack to the moment. Later, when they returned to the house, Derek followed Olivia to her bedroom for the first time, their love finding physical expression in the quiet intimacy of the night. In September, as Lily started 3rd grade, Derek faced an unexpected challenge. The mother who had abandoned them 5 years earlier contacted him, expressing a desire to reconnect with her daughter. The request threw Derek into emotional turmoil. I don't know what to do, he confessed to Olivia one evening as they sat on his porch after Lily had gone to bed. Part of me wants to protect Lily from someone who might disappear from her life again, but another part wonders if I have the right to keep her from knowing her mother. Olivia listened attentively, offering support without immediately jumping to solutions, something Derek had come to value deeply. What would it look like if you did allow contact? She asked. Supervised visits at first, I suppose, Derek said, running a hand through his hair. Melissa lives in California now, so it would be mostly video calls. She mentioned possibly coming to visit at Christmas. And how do you feel about seeing her again? Derek considered the question. Honestly, I'm not angry anymore. I was for a long time furious that she could walk away from our child, but now I just feel nothing much. My life moved on. She's essentially a stranger. That's a healthy perspective, Olivia observed. What does your gut tell you about Lily? That she deserves to know where she comes from, Derek sighed. That no matter how much I try, there will always be questions I can't answer for her about her mother. I think you know what to do, Olivia said gently. And whatever you decide, I'll support you. Her unwavering support gave Derek the clarity he needed. After careful consideration, he arranged a video call between Lily and her mother, preparing his daughter as best he could for the emotionally complex interaction. To his surprise, Lily handled the situation with remarkable maturity. After the call, she curled up beside him on the couch, processing the experience. "She looks like me," Lily said thoughtfully. "Her eyes are the same as mine." "Yes, they are," Derek agreed, his arm around her small shoulders. "But she doesn't feel like my mom," Lily continued. "Not like Emma's mom, who makes her lunch and goes to all her games and tucks her in at night." She paused, then added, "Not like Olivia, who does all those things with us now." Derek's heart contracted at the comparison. "Olivia cares about us very much," he said carefully. "I know," Lily replied with the certainty of a child who feels secure in her world. "I think she loves us." "She does," Derek confirmed. "Good," Lily said simply, "because we love her too." As autumn painted the city in reds and golds, Derek and Olivia's relationship continued to deepen. They established comfortable routines: Sunday brunches at Derek's house, Wednesday night dinners at Olivia's downtown apartment, weekend outings with Lily that ranged from apple picking to museum visits. The Riverside project was proceeding ahead of schedule, earning Derek praise from Tom Bradley and the board of directors. Phase 2 planning was well underway, with Derek confidently managing the complex process. One crisp October evening, Olivia invited Derek to a charity gala benefiting educational programs for underprivileged children. It would be their first formal event together, a public statement about their relationship in Olivia's business and social circles. "Are you sure you want me as your date?" Derek asked, as he adjusted the cuffs of the tuxedo Olivia had insisted on having tailored for him. "These people are used to seeing you with executives and politicians." Olivia, stunning in a deep green gown that highlighted her eyes, stepped forward to straighten his bow tie. "These people are used to seeing me with whoever I choose," she corrected him with a smile. "Besides, half of them wouldn't know the difference between a load-bearing wall and a paper screen. Your expertise would put them to shame." Despite his nerves, Derek found the evening more enjoyable than expected. Olivia introduced him proudly to colleagues and friends, never hesitating to mention his role in the Riverside project or his background in construction. Several guests, learning of his expertise, engaged him in conversations about their own renovation projects, genuinely interested in his professional opinions. During dinner, they were seated at a table with the mayor and several prominent business leaders. The conversation turned to affordable housing initiatives, a topic Derek felt passionate about. "The challenge isn't just building the units," he found himself explaining. "It's creating homes people can take pride in. Design matters as much as price point." Olivia watched him with evident pride as he articulated his views, drawing on his years of practical experience. Later, as they danced to the live orchestra, she leaned close to his ear. "You impressed the mayor tonight," she murmured. "He asked if you'd consider joining the city's housing commission." Derek raised an eyebrow in surprise. "Me? Why would he want a construction guy on a policy committee?" "Because you understand the practical realities in a way most policymakers don't," Olivia replied. "And because you clearly care about building communities, not just structures." As they swayed to the music, Derek reflected on how much his life had changed since that rainy evening when he'd stopped to help a stranger being harassed on the roadside. Not just his romantic life, but his professional horizons and his sense of what was possible. "What are you thinking?" Olivia asked, noticing his contemplative expression. "That I'm the luckiest man in this room," Derek replied honestly. "And that I never want to take for granted how extraordinary it is to have found you." November brought cooler weather and the 1-year anniversary of the Riverside project's groundbreaking. To celebrate the milestone, Dawson Development hosted a site tour and luncheon for investors and community partners. Derek, now confidently overseeing both phases of the project, led small groups through the nearly completed East Wing, explaining the sustainable building practices and historic preservation elements that made the development unique. "Mr. Daniels is being modest," Olivia commented to one tour group as Derek described a particularly challenging structural solution. This innovative approach was entirely his design, saving both time and materials while preserving the building's architectural integrity. Derek felt a flush of pleasure at her professional acknowledgement, separate from their personal relationship. He had earned this respect through his work, and they both knew it. That evening, after tucking an exhausted Lily into bed, Derek joined Olivia in his small living room. She had kicked off her heels and curled up on the couch with a glass of wine, looking perfectly at home despite the humble surroundings. "You were amazing today," she said, making room for him beside her. "Everyone was impressed with your knowledge and leadership." "It's a great project," Derek replied modestly. "Easy to be enthusiastic about work you believe in." "Speaking of work," Olivia said, setting down her wine glass, "I've been meaning to talk to you about something." The board approved a new position yesterday, Director of Construction Operations, overseeing all our building projects across the region. It would mean a significant salary increase, a company vehicle, and equity in the firm. Derek's eyebrows rose. "Sounds like an important role." "It is," Olivia nodded, "and I want you to consider applying for it." "Me?" Derek's surprise was evident. "Wouldn't that create conflict of interest issues given our relationship?" "That's why I said apply, not I'm giving you the job," Olivia clarified. "The hiring committee will include board members and our HR director, not me. You'd be evaluated on your merits, which are considerable." Derek considered the opportunity. It represented a substantial career advancement, the kind he might have spent another decade working toward under different circumstances. "I'd need to think about it," he said finally. "The travel requirements, the impact on time with Lily." "Of course," Olivia agreed. "The formal posting goes up next week. Take your time to consider whether it's right for you and your family." Her careful separation of their personal relationship from professional opportunities was one of the many things Derek had come to respect about Olivia. She never used her position as leverage or assumed he would make decisions based on pleasing her. As Thanksgiving approached, Olivia suggested hosting dinner at her apartment, inviting Derek's sister Jenny and her husband, as well as Olivia's brother Michael and his family. "Are you sure you want to take on cooking for everyone?" Derek asked, knowing how busy she was with year-end business matters. "Actually," Olivia admitted with a smile, "I thought we could cook together. I make a decent turkey, but your mashed potatoes are unbeatable." The holiday gathering turned out to be one of the warmest Thanksgiving celebrations Derek could remember. Jenny and Olivia bonded immediately over shared stories of Derek's stubbornness, while Lily played enthusiastically with Michael's children, delighted to have cousins for the day. After dinner, as the adults lingered over coffee and the children watched a movie in Olivia's spacious living room, Derek found himself observing the scene with a profound sense of contentment. These two separate families were blending naturally, creating new connections and shared memories. Later that night, after everyone had gone and Lily was asleep in the guest room that had gradually accumulated her books and toys over the past months, Derek and Olivia stood together in the kitchen, putting away the last of the dishes. "Thank you for today," Derek said, wrapping his arms around her waist. "It meant a lot to see our families together like that." "I loved it too," Olivia replied, leaning back against him. "It felt right, didn't it, all of us together?" "It did," Derek agreed, resting his chin on her shoulder. "I've been thinking a lot about family lately, about what makes a home." Olivia turned in his arms to face him. "What conclusions have you reached?" Derek looked into her green eyes, seeing the future he wanted reflected there. "That home isn't about a place or possessions, it's about belonging. About choosing each other every day." "I choose you and Lily," Olivia said softly. "Every day." "I've been thinking about something else too," Derek continued, his heart beating faster, "about making this us official. Olivia's eyes widened slightly. Derek, are you not proposing? Not yet, he clarified with a gentle smile. But I wanted you to know that's where my thoughts are heading. I love you, Olivia. I want to build a life with you, but I need to be sure Lily is ready, and that we've given ourselves enough time to be certain. Tears glistened in Olivia's eyes. I want that too, she whispered. Whenever you and Lily are ready, I'll be here. They sealed the moment with a kiss that held the promise of their future not rushed, but deliberate and built on the solid foundation they'd created together. December arrived with flurries of snow and the excitement of the holiday season. Lily threw herself into Christmas preparations with characteristic enthusiasm, enlisting Olivia's help in creating handmade ornaments and planning cookie-baking marathons. Derek, meanwhile, had made his decision about the director position at Dawson Development. After careful consideration and discussions with both Jenny and Lily, he submitted his application, determined to be evaluated fairly alongside other candidates. 2 weeks before Christmas, Derek received the call he'd been both hoping for and dreading. The hiring committee had selected him for the position, impressed by his hands-on experience and demonstrated leadership on the Riverside project. That evening, as Lily helped Olivia decorate the Christmas tree in Derek's living room, he shared the news. That's wonderful, Olivia exclaimed, her face lighting up with genuine pride. I knew you were the most qualified, but I'm glad the committee saw it too. Does this mean you'll have a fancy office like Olivia's? Lily asked, carefully hanging a glitter-covered pine cone on a branch. Derek laughed. Not quite that fancy, but yes, I'll have an actual office instead of a job site trailer. Cool, Lily declared. Can I decorate it? Your trailer is boring. We'll see, Derek replied, exchanging an amused glance with Olivia. Later, after Lily had gone to bed, Derek and Olivia discussed the implications of his new role. There might be talk, Derek acknowledged. People assuming I got the job because of our relationship. Let them talk, Olivia said firmly. We both know you earned this on merit, and anyone who works with you for more than a week will see why you were chosen. Her confidence in him was unwavering, and Derek felt a surge of gratitude for finding a partner who believed in his capabilities so completely. There's something else I want to discuss, he said, taking her hand. With this new position, I'll be in a better financial situation. More stability, better benefits for Lily. Olivia nodded, waiting for him to continue. I've been thinking about selling my house, Derek continued. It's too small for us, especially as Lily gets older, and I've been saving for a down payment on something bigger. That makes sense, Olivia said, though her expression suggested she had more thoughts on the matter. But before I make any decisions, Derek added, I wanted to talk about our future, about where we see ourselves in a year or two. Olivia squeezed his hand. I see us together, she said simply. Whether that's in your house, my apartment, or somewhere new entirely, I just want us to be a family. The word family resonated between them, carrying the weight of commitment and shared dreams. I was thinking, Derek said carefully, that maybe we could look for a place together. Something that would be ours from the beginning, not yours or mine. Olivia's face lit up with joy. I would love that, she said. A fresh start, something we create together. They spent the next hour discussing possibilities, neighborhoods, house styles, must-have features. Derek insisted on contributing his fair share financially, despite Olivia's greater resources, and she respected his need for this equality. What about Lily's school district? Olivia asked, always mindful of the child's needs. Actually, I've been researching some options closer to downtown, Derek replied. There's a great magnet school for science and arts that I think she'd thrive in. The application deadline is in February. She'd definitely get in, Olivia said confidently. That child's brain works in amazing ways. Their conversation continued, weaving together practical considerations and dreams for the future until they realized it was well past midnight. Stay tonight, Derek said softly as Olivia gathered her things to leave. It's late, and the roads are icy. Olivia hesitated, glancing toward Lily's room. They had been careful about overnight stays when Lily was present, maintaining separate bedrooms out of respect for her adjustment process. "Lily knows we love each other," Derek said, understanding her concern. "I think we're past the point of pretending we're just friends who happen to spend a lot of time together." "Are you sure?" Olivia asked. Derek nodded. "I'm sure, about this and about us." That night, as they lay together in Derek's bed, planning Christmas gifts for Lily and dreaming about their future home, Derek felt a sense of completion he hadn't experienced since before Melissa left, perhaps even before that. With Olivia, he had found not just a romantic partner, but a true life companion who valued the same things he did: family, integrity, hard work, and building something meaningful together. Christmas morning dawned bright and clear, the fresh snow creating a postcard-perfect scene outside the windows. Lily woke at an ungodly hour, as children do on Christmas, bursting into Derek's room where he and Olivia were still sleeping. "Santa came," she announced, bouncing onto the bed with infectious excitement. "Come see." Derek exchanged a sleepy smile with Olivia, who looked adorably rumpled in one of his T-shirts, her copper hair tousled around her face. "Merry Christmas," he murmured, pressing a quick kiss to her lips before Lily tugged him out of bed. "Merry Christmas," Olivia replied, her eyes reflecting the happiness he felt. The morning unfolded in a blur of wrapping paper, exclamations of delight, and the cinnamon scent of the special breakfast Olivia had prepared. Lily was thrilled with her new telescope, chemistry set, and the handmade quilt Olivia had commissioned from a local artisan, featuring fabric printed with Lily's own artwork. "This is the best Christmas ever," Lily declared, hugging both Derek and Olivia with fierce enthusiasm. When the initial excitement had calmed slightly, Derek retrieved a small, wrapped box from behind the tree. "There's one more gift," he said, handing it to Olivia. "From both Lily and me." Olivia looked surprised. "But you already gave me the beautiful cashmere sweater and those first edition books." "This is different," Derek said, his heart beginning to race. "Open it." With careful fingers, Olivia unwrapped the small package, revealing a velvet jewelry box. Her eyes widened as she looked up at Derek, who had moved to sit beside her on the couch. "Go ahead," he encouraged gently. Inside the box was not a ring, as Olivia might have expected, but a delicate gold locket. When she opened it, she found a tiny photograph of Derek and Lily on one side and a small handwritten note on the other, which simply read, "Our hearts are your home." "Oh, Derek," Olivia whispered, tears filling her eyes. "It's perfect." "There's more," Derek said, taking her hand. "Lily and I have been talking about our future together, and we have a question to ask you." Lily, who had been unusually patient during this exchange, now bounced forward to kneel beside her father, her face solemn despite her excitement. "Olivia," Derek continued, "you've brought so much joy and love into our lives this past year. We can't imagine our future without you in it." Lily nodded enthusiastically. "You make Daddy happy," she added. "And me too, and you never treat me like I'm just a kid." "We were wondering," Derek said, his voice thick with emotion, "if you would consider moving in with us, or rather, finding a new home together as we discussed, making our arrangement permanent." "A family," Lily clarified helpfully. "Like officially." Olivia's tears were flowing freely now, but her smile was radiant. "Yes," she said, gathering both of them into her arms. "Yes to all of it. I want to build a home with you both more than anything." As they embraced, Derek felt the final pieces of his life falling into place. From that rain-soaked evening when he'd stepped out of his car to defuse a frightening situation, to this snowy Christmas morning filled with love and promise, the journey had been unexpected but perfect in its own way. Later that day, as they prepared to leave for Christmas dinner at Jenny's house, Derek found a moment alone with Olivia in the kitchen. "I've been thinking," he said, wrapping his arms around her waist. "Next Christmas, I'd like to put a different kind of ring under the tree. If you and Lily are ready, Olivia's eyes shone with happiness. "I think we will be," she said softly, "more than ready." Their kiss was interrupted by Lily's voice from the living room, calling them to hurry up so they wouldn't be late. "Coming, pumpkin." Derek called back, taking Olivia's hand as they went to join his daughter, their daughter, in all the ways that truly mattered. As they drove through the snow-covered streets, Lily chattering excitedly in the backseat about showing her new science kit to her cousins, Derek glanced at Olivia in the passenger seat beside him. Their eyes met in a look of shared understanding and commitment to each other, to Lily, and to the future they would build together. From a moment of tension and potential danger on a rainy roadside had grown a love neither of them had expected, but both now treasured above all else. A construction worker with calloused hands and a millionaire developer with vision and drive, brought together by chance and kept together by something much stronger, the family they were creating, one day at a time.